those of you that are new, when I talk about breathing down into the belly, this is something that quite a few of us struggle with, because when we have lung health conditions, and basically as we go through life, we hold tension in our body and our breathing becomes more shallow. So a lot of us are breathing into our chest. So you might feel a feeling of the chest rising as you breathe in and then falling as you breathe out. And the belly will sort of like come in as you breathe in and then out as you breathe out. That's called reverse breathing. So a lot of this work is around trying to get us to reconnect with our breathing and not just use the secondary breathing apparatus, which is the top part of the lungs, but we're trying to get down low and use all of our lungs. The diaphragm area here often becomes very rigid because you're not using that lower part of the breathing apparatus. And some people find it very hard to access any breath below that sort of chest and diaphragm area. But as we practice and relax and keep going, it does come eventually. So what we're going to do now, everybody, we're going to do a little bit of work on extending our out breath today. Last week we had our first session after Christmas and we just did some tuning back in with our breathing. So one of the things that you notice when you feel breathless, a lot of us want to just feel like we can't breathe in, and our brain is saying to us, try and breathe in, and we might gasp, particularly if you have asthma, you know, sort of like that feeling that you just can't get enough air in. And what's actually happening is the opposite of what we think. Our lungs have too much air in them and we need to get that air out. And this is a really good way of managing anxiety as well. And those of us who've been coming for a long time have done this many times. So one way that we can slow down that out breath, that exhale, is to breathe as if we're breathing through a straw. And we call this pursed breathing. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little bit of practice, and then I'll do some counting. So we breathe in for a shorter time than we breathe out. And this is a really good exercise to do at home, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, slowing down the out breath and trying to make sure we get more breath out than we're taking in. And that will help with anxiety and breathlessness. And if you do this practice regularly, we get really good feedback that this helps people to feel better. So first of all, as we breathe in through the nose, those of you that are new, you might be able to do this, you might not. We are going to have a sensation of the breath coming right down into our belly. We want our belly to feel like a balloon as we breathe in, and then we want the navel to return back to our spine, so the belly is sort of becoming smaller as we breathe out. Don't worry about that too much if you can't do that, but those of you who can do that, be mindful of that. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, and then we're just going to take a little pause at the top, and that's so we can engage our tummy muscles. We want our abdomen to be engaged as we breathe out, so we're controlling that out breath. We're going to purse our lips and we're going to blow as if we're blowing through a straw. Some of us find that if we use our hands to push the air away as well, that helps us to control the breath. So we'll just do that very gently 3 times, and then we'll do some counting. So shoulders down. If you want to stand to do this, that's absolutely fine. I prefer to sit because some people are hard of hearing and they can't hear me. So I need to be able to be accessible for those people with lip reading. Okay, so I'm keeping my hands on my lap. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm just checking in with my posture. So everything's in line, head's nice and straight, shoulders down. And we're just going to breathe in through the nose. And take a little pause and purse the lips and breathe out as if you're blowing through a straw. Remember when you were a child blowing those bubbles in the bottom of the lemonade. And then when you're ready, relax and breathe in through the nose. Out through the straw. For as long as it's comfortable for you. Don't keep going any longer than you want to. Some of you can go longer. And then when you're ready, we're going to do it a 3rd time. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through a straw. And then relax. That might feel a bit strange to some of you, and it does at first, but I think most of the people who've been coming for a while are finding that they're much more in control of their breathing now, and they can actually make it, that feels more natural for them.